What makes Seinfeld a timeless classic? Or does it even hold up to today? Well, that's what we're here to discuss today. Welcome to AustinPlus Commentary, where today we are discussing a very popular American sitcom known as Seinfeld. Seinfeld is a show that is based around literally nothing. It is a show that is centered around New Yorkers and Jerry Seinfeld, obviously. And basically they live their lives and talk about their show in the fourth wall type of thing. It's very confusing, and I've only just finished it. This is the best I can explain it. It is a story of nothingness. There is no set genre. It is purely just like people's daily lives, like Friends, but Friends was a lot more funny. That is in my opinion, but I wanted to go and check the reviews because I've heard people say that it is not culturally accepted. I don't know. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. It might be. The ending is weird. I mean, some of the things said you definitely can't say now. But let's go check them out. So these are some of the season 1 reviews. So let's check some of these out. Considering it was in 1989, I'm not too sure what was going on at the time, so I'm going to try and take that into account, but let's see what they say. The show is great fun in spite of the fact that a series with a laugh track now seems a bit dated. Agreed, especially, okay, that was written in 2021. I watched this just round about last year. I agree with that. I definitely agree with the fact that this show, it is fun in some aspects. It's a bit weird in aspects, but it is fun. But the laugh track is still something, as much as it seems a bit dated, it's also very iconic. Borrowing an approach from Roseanne Barr, Seinfeld essentially translates his stand-up act into a sitcom. It might not be much, but at least it's new. Yeah, I guess. I mean, no one really does, do a show on their own stuff based on their own stand-up act. I definitely think that's an olden day thing, or 1980s thing. Don't know if that's old or not, but that might be a 40 years ago thing. I don't think it's something you would get a lot out of now. I think that's more of a Netflix, do you do a stand-up thing for Netflix thing? That's what it is nowadays. I would agree with. Okay, Jerry Seinfeld's a refreshing contrast to prevailing popular style of street-stretching, abusive to utterly unfunny comics. Support quality comedy, watch Seinfeld. I am aware this is purely just my opinion, but I am reading others just to see what they are like. But I don't think it's refreshing. I think it's very cringe. Egotistic, maybe. That might be a stretch. But I still think that it's very cringy to me. On paper, it probably looked terrific. One of those bold new notions that bound to catch on fire, but on the screen, it's a bunch of soggy matches. This guy's definitely British. Yeah, I kind of get that. I definitely agree with the idea of writing a show about nothing and about some New Yorkers definitely seems like something that sounds and probably seems good, but it will ultimately it will fall short. Far from inviting us in on the jokes, Seinfeld shoves us further away than most series, so how can we relate to the situations in which Seinfeld finds himself? That's fair. That's very fair. While the characters of Kramer and Newman zoom into a pole position for spin-offs, the rest of this once glorious comedy still has the shtick shift stuck in second gear. Yeah, I guess. See, these are all in 2018 and 2019, so I believe these are a bit not, especially since 2020, this don't really count. In real life, our friends change. Those who don't fall by the wayside, just like Seinfeld.
Boom. Roasted.
The hype before Seinfeld farewell was one event the country should never go through again. The sitcom had its weakest season this year and should have gone off the air a year ago. A lot of people said that because season 8 and season 7 were marked 100% on the tomato meter and the audience score. So that is saying something. Based on that and then this, I completely agree. The passing of Seinfeld, that cheese doodle of urban fecklessness into cryogenic syndication inspires no tear in this cave.
What? What the fuck?
I like the thought process in that. I like it. I rate that so highly. So the reason I bring this video up is because someone said like, oh, I've been watching Seinfeld, it's so culturally inappropriate, and it made me think about like, oh, is it? I'm not too sure. I need to pick up on stuff like this. Because obviously this is the stuff I review. So I was like, okay, let me look into it. After looking into it for quite a while, I would say, I mean, some of the stuff that I said you probably can't say now, especially put it on Netflix. That just wouldn't happen. However, I do agree with the fact that there is multiple, I do agree with the fact that like multiple shows do the exact same thing, maybe on a darker level, but you also have to understand there's a definite time change between the two, because like Seinfeld was in 1990s, we are in the 2020s. Jokes are completely different, or certain things are completely different. So realistically, you're thinking like a Gen Z person or someone that watched it when it aired in 1990. Those are two different things, and I think that's the one thing that confuses people. Because I'm a fan of watching shows from the olden times. I'm a fan of watching shows that were released a while ago. I like watching old sitcoms like Friends, like Big Bang Theory. I mean, I know that was the end of nearly 2010 when it was released, but at the end of the day, it's still one of those things where it's cultural. It depends on your perspective. It's some things definitely you probably shouldn't have said then. You definitely can't say now, like including certain groups, certain people, certain events in time. You definitely can't say that today. You can't say it on YouTube. You can't say it on literally anywhere. But that just all changes with time, and I think that's why I don't think Seinfeld is something that is. This happened, I think, at the end of last year. Not the beginning of 2024 technically. A lot of people were like, I think it was when Jerry Seinfeld released his I'm doing stand up for Netflix, and he was referring a lot to the Seinfeld show, and people got so high and mighty about it, because it is very different today. And you're not wrong, it is different. However, it was 40 years ago. 40 years ago, I can't math. 30 years ago. It has a lasting impact. Yes, it's funny. I mean, if it's on Netflix, it's fine. I mean, Netflix are they're strict. Netflix are well strict when it comes to stuff like that. So I wouldn't be too, unhappy about it. But, I'd say overall judgment, it's Seinfeld, nothing to worry about. I'd go and watch it. I mean, as a kid, 15, I mean, when I started, I was 14. So, I wouldn't look too deep into it. If you want something to entertain yourself, maybe watch Seinfeld. It might not be for you. The one thing that put me off about the whole show was mainly the jokes that they were made were so very cultural. And when I say cultural, it's very New York. Some of the things they say are very New York, and it's laid on so thick as well, and that's why one thing I don't like about the show. But you get past that, I'd say, after season 4. The episodes that were 40 minutes long were a pain in the ass to watch. They were the most painful things to watch. Still to this day, because they didn't need to be that long. 20 minutes is enough for a sitcom. 40 minutes is like the end of the whole show. Well, everyone, that is the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'm sorry that was a bit of a rant, but honestly, give Seinfeld a watch. It's on Netflix, so go and give it a watch if you really liked it, and if you made it through this video, I salute you. Thank you very much. But without further ado, everyone, I hope you all have an amazing day as always, and we've got some more commentary videos coming, maybe a bit more lively than this, because it was a good idea, because this video was actually pitched by a friend, so I was like, okay, let me read through the planning. I was like, you know what, sounds like a video. Reading it back while recording, I'm just like, okay, seems more like a rant than a commentary video. So, but yeah, we've got some more commentary videos coming this month, and I'm very excited. We've got some more coming this week, in fact. So stick around for them. And obviously, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.